Caitlin, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Oh,
Okay, so I'm just gonna do a really quick rerun through. This is such a mess, but here we go. Okay, so welcome to the editor forum. Okay, so if y'all just joined, my name is Caitlin Tran. I am the district editor, and my email is editor@tokeyclub.com.
Hey everyone, my name is Maybelline Ong, and I'm the Division 26 Lieutenant Governor. My email is ltg26@tokeyclub.com.
Okay, here's the quote. So, the common man is not concerned about the passage of time. The man of talent is driven by it. Okay. So, what will we be discussing for this forum? So, first off, we have the assignments. So, this is going to be a brief breakdown of the monthly editor submissions. If y'all want a full breakdown, go to the official Texas Oklahoma Key Club District YouTube channel, and there will be posted like an hour-long video of my editor training back in August 15th. So if y'all want a more in-depth one, please go check that one out. And then secondly, we will be discussing tips and tricks of how to make the most of your submissions. And then lastly, we will be discussing the editor contests and awards that you can apply for LEDCon.
Okay, so let's start off with our assignments. So assignments and rubrics. Your assignments are your club newsletters, your articles, your Hodos, photos, letter to the editors, and riddle of the month. Where you could find these rubrics would be on the Texas Oklahoma website under the editor resources and the Dropbox for resources. So we can go check that out.
Okay, so let's check it out. So this is the official district website. If you don't already know, it is tokeyclub.com. And so this is the resources tab, and you go down to editor resources. And look at that, voila. You have all your rubrics right here and here. And they're PDF files. So if you don't want to keep going to the website, just download them onto your device, because they are PDF files. Okay, now go back.
Okay, where to submit assignments. So all of your assignments are going to get their own email, and you're going to submit all of them to Caitlin's email, which is editor@tokeyclub.com.
Oh, by the way, if y'all have any questions like along the way, just put them in the chat, and then after the end of each section, I'm just going to answer all of them. Okay.
Okay, so the deadlines for all of your assignments will be the 5th of every month at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Unless the 5th falls on a national holiday or a Sunday, then it is due on the 6th at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so submission formatting. For your email header or your subject, you would have your full school name, no abbreviations because other schools could have the same abbreviation. Then you would put your division, the month that you were submitting your assignments, and then the name of your assignment. Each assignment must have its own email as well, as we have previously stated, and then you cannot attach images in an email. Please put them in a Word document if asked for. And on your right side, you'll see an example of how the subject would be put.
I just want to add, for the month, it's a little confusing. So basically, you're going to submit it on the 5th of a certain month, but the month that you put will be for the previous month. So for example, the submissions for November 5th, which is next month, are going to be titled October submissions, because basically those submissions are going to be everything that you've collected for October, and you're going to submit them on November 5th. So for November 5th, do not put November as the month, put October, because those are October submissions. Okay.
Okay, so our first assignment, newsletters. What are newsletters? A newsletter is a great source of information for your members to read about updates, upcoming events, news from your division and district levels. Point values. The maximum grade is 21 points. 20 points are going to be content-based, and then 1 extra point will come from visual appeal, so the aesthetic and such. The late penalty is 7 points. Newsletters turned in more than 5 days after the deadline will not be graded. So, Caitlin, let's take a look at the rubric.
Okay, so I'm only going to go over the newsletter rubric because that is the longest one. So I just want to go over that one with y'all, but please go over the other ones on your own time. And if you have any questions, just let me know. So this is like the first one. And so right here, so it's a complete breakdown of how I am going to grade you. So these are the point values and then each section. So we're only going to look at the highest section because that's the only one that you should actually, strive for. So we have the email format and submission. The email subject line is listed in the following order: school, division, month, newsletter. The newsletter is submitted as a PDF or an issue link. If you don't know what issue is a platform where you can upload your newsletter and then share it publicly so your members have easy access to it. I use issue for my district newsletter. And so yeah, and it's free, so you don't have to like pay anything. All you have to do is download your newsletter first as a PDF from whatever editing software that you use, and then upload it onto issue. And then we have graphic standards. So no more than 10% of the newsletter deviates from the Key Club International and Texas Oklahoma guidelines. At least 3 colors from the Key Club International brand guide are used within the newsletter, as well as one of the approved Key Club International fonts or one similar. If you don't know the Key Club International brand guide colors, the Texas Oklahoma colors, or the Key Club International fonts, we will go over that shortly. But basically, it's like a list of fonts and colors that kind of represent the Key Club and Texas Oklahoma brand. And so you want like the majority or close to all of your entire newsletter to follow those certain colors and fonts. Then we have content. The newsletter includes volume, issue, school, region, and division on the cover page, including the table of contents, page numbers, and upcoming deadlines and events. Then we have promotion. This newsletter includes major emphasis program promotion, Children's Miracle Network, Eliminate UNICEF, March of Dimes, the Key Club International Service Project advertisement, which is the Thirst Project, and then this should say LEDCon advertisement after the theme has been announced. So what is major emphasis? So basically Kiwanis, which is like the main K family that Key Club originated from, their major emphasis, or their kind of like with these programs, is helping children. So all 3 of these programs are targeted to donating to children. And then there's the International Service Project. So Key Club's main service partner is the Thirst Project. All you really have to do to meet the requirement for the promotion is to either include something about these programs. It could just be their logos, it could be their names, it could be their links to their official website. And all the links can be found on keyclub.org, or you can even just search up the title of these programs, and most likely the first or second result will be their main website. So it's really simple. And for LEDCon, you just gotta mention something about LEDCon in your newsletter, but we have not announced the theme. I am like 90% confident we're going to announce it in December, so you're not going to have to include it until your December newsletter. Okay, then we have contacts. The newsletter includes the following contact information: club officer contact information, LTG contact information, district staff, and regional advisor contact information. So I think club officer contact information is pretty easy for y'all. So all you need to do is really put their position, their name, and their email. Same thing with the rest of these. If you do not know who your LTG is or what division you're in, I would suggest asking your president or your sponsor, they probably do know. For district staff information, you need to include 6 people. So those 6 people are the district governor, district secretary, district treasurer, district editor, that's me, convention liaison, and technology producer. You also need to include your regional advisor contact information. If you know who your lieutenant governor is, they probably will know what region you're in. You can try to ask your president and your sponsor as well. If you are in a division or in a region that doesn't have a lieutenant governor or a regional advisor, please on your newsletter put regional advisor or LTG : not available, so that when I'm grading your newsletter, I know that you just don't have one and not because you forgot to include it, okay? Also, LTG contact district staff and regional advisor contact information can be found on the TO district website. If you look at the tab about and you drop down to the district board, it's going to have every single person. Although it's a lot of people, so I suggest that you Control F if you know like their name, so it's easier to find. Okay. And then the bonus visual appeal. So basically what I'm just looking for, if your newsletter looks nice and presentable and it looks like you really took your time to make it a product that your members would enjoy reading. Yeah. It's really not that hard, y'all. Just try to be, you know, a little creative with it. Okay.
Okay, so this is the Key Club International Brand Guide, and these are just the colors right now. And so these are all the colors that you would have to use, or is basically required to have 3 Key Club International colors. And these colors count towards the 10% rule, which means that only out of your whole newsletter, only 10% can be outside of our guide, if that makes sense. And then this is the Texas Oklahoma brand guide, which it isn't required, but it does go towards our other Key Club International guide, whereas this is specific towards our district, but it isn't required. And then these are our fonts. So these are all of the kind of fonts that you would have to use in your newsletters. Again, that also go towards the 10% rule where you can only use 10% out of it. But so if you can see at all the gray fonts, those are our actual like Key Club International fonts, although Canva does not have those. So there are alternative fonts, which are the ones you see below that you can also use, which are similar to the verified fonts.
I just want to point out that you can find like the International Brand Guide and the Texas Oklahoma Brand Guide under editor resources. So they're there. I think the Key Club International Brand Guide is found under a PDF file called Brand Guide Canva Edition.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so these are common editing softwares. So there's Google Slides, there's Canva, and then there's Illustrator. Whereas Google Slides and Canva are free, and Illustrator actually costs money. Well, so these are the only 3 most common ones, but you can use other apps outside of this. These are just the ones that we recommend. Okay, so now we will go on to articles. Point values. The maximum grade is 10 points. Each article is graded for a max of 5, and you can submit up to 5 articles a month. So that would be 25 points total. The total score is divided by 2.5 for the final point value. And the late penalty is 4 points. All articles that are turned in 5 days after the deadline will not be graded. And your content requirements would be having a correct email header or a subject, then having it in a Word document file type, having a correct heading. It has to be related to Key Club, and you can also follow the monthly prompts posted on the 1st of every month, where you would be able to find on our Texas Oklahoma website. and the minimum is 300 words, but it is recommended to be 300, 400. And lastly, we have, there has to be at least one JPG image in the Word document, and it cannot be taken from the internet. One of the members in your club has to take it themselves. And this would be an example for the header of your articles. So it would start off with the name of whoever wrote your article, and then your division, then your full school name, and then there has to be a title that is related to Key Club and your article. Okay, Hodos, Humans of Texas, Oklahoma. So the point values for Hodo would be a maximum grade of 2 points. A Hodo is graded for the max of 5. You can submit at most 1 Hodo a month, and that would be 5 points total. The total score is divided by 2.5 for the final point value. Late Hodo assignments will not be graded. Now going into content requirements, you have to have the correct email header, Word document file type, correct heading. In addition to the title, it has to say Hodo. And then it has to answer the prompt. How was your Key Club experience, and what is Key Club to you? Which again is a minimum of 300, but we recommend 300 to 400. And then for lastly, it would be at least one JPG image in the Word document, also cannot be taken from the internet, very similar to articles.
I'd also like to add for the Humans of Texas, Oklahoma. So this is basically like a personal narrative about how Key Club impacted you. So for the JPEG image, it should be a picture of the author.
Right. Yeah. This is another example of what the Hodo would look like. So again, full name, division, full school name, and then Hodo. Okay, photos. Point values. The maximum grade is 3 points. They are only graded for correct formatting and only the formatting of the first 10 photos. Your grade will not be affected if you submit less photos. Late photo assignments will not be graded. And for your content requirements, it will be a correct email header, submission file type, which is a Word document, and correct content formatting. This is an example of what you would put into the Word document. So you would have your image, and then you would have your photo credit or whoever took the photo, their name. Then you would have your subjects being the people in the photo. And no, you do not have to include the names of the people you do not know in the background. Also, if there are four or less people, those are the only names you have to include. If there are more than 4, you don't have to include all of them. And lastly is the description. So you would just have to go over a brief, what is happening in the photo kind of deal. Okay, letter to the editors. The point values. So the maximum is 2 points. You can submit at most 1 letter to the editor a month, and late letter to the editor's assignments will not be graded. Content requirements would be your correct email header. It has to include questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, etc., to the district editor, which is Caitlin, and your riddle of the months. Point values. Maximum grade is 2 points. There will be 1 riddle per every 2 months. Therefore, you would answer the same riddle for 2 months in a row, meaning, so per se, in October, there's already a riddle and you answered it for that month. In September, you would answer it again. You would just email her with the same answer, essentially. And these riddles can be found in the Texas, Oklahoma Key Club newsletters. Late riddle of the month assignments will not be graded. Content requirements would be your correct email header, and then it would have to include an attempted answer towards the riddle. Oh, I forgot to add, but the Tex Okie newsletters can be found on the Texas, Oklahoma website. This is just an example of what it would look like to submit. So you would have Caitlin's email, of course, And then you would have your full school name, division name, that month, and then the name of the assignment. I know it only says Riddle, but it's supposed to say Riddle of the month. It just kind of got cut off. And then, of course, in your body, you would just put an attempted answer. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence. It could just literally be one word. Okay, so TextOKey features and point values. So if your assignment is featured on the TextOKey or on the TOKey Club website, these will be the amount of extra points you get for each submission. So for your top 5 newsletters, if you get into that category, that would be an extra 5 points. For articles and Hodos, it would be the same, another 5 points. Now, for your photos and letter to the editors, those would only be 1 point.
Okay, I saw there was a chat, but for some reason I can't access it when I'm sharing my screen. So can someone just like read it out loud or like what it says?
Yeah, I can access it.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Or, okay. Wait, you can do it. It's okay.
Okay. Okay, so
Okay, thank you, Tiffany.
are the editors supposed to do a Hodo of themselves each month, or are we supposed to ask members to write a Hodo? What I've been doing is writing a Hodo about a member in Key Club, so mine isn't a first-person narrative. So they can honestly be any member.
Yeah, it can be any member. Preferably, you don't want to write about someone else. You want them to write about themselves. So, yeah. And you don't have to write it every month. Like, I don't recommend doing that. So
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, you already have a lot of stuff to do. So like putting like extra work on yourself by writing articles, by writing Hodos, like you don't need to do that. That's why you have your members to do it. And the whole point is to showcase your members and to like, you know, have their voice and represent them in the district. So I like, please like let your members write it themselves because it's only 300 to 400 words. Honestly, that's like 1 page. It's really not that much. I'm pretty sure they're capable of doing it. Okay.
Yeah, I think I just had a misunderstanding, but thank you.
Yeah. Okay. It is 9:46. So I am probably gonna go till 9:55. I'm gonna try to speed through this. I'm so sorry for all the technical difficulties in the very beginning and making y'all wait. But yeah, I'm just gonna,
sorry about that.
but I'm just gonna like really speed through this. Okay, so tips and tricks. So my whole thing about editor duties is to work smarter and not harder because y'all already have a lot of stuff to do. So tip number 1, time management. It is key that you don't procrastinate. Do your work on time. So you know what you need to do. Everything's already outlined. You have 6 assignments and you have to submit them on the 5th of every month. So you already have a window of which you can do your assignments. So don't procrastinate. Don't wait till like the last week and have, you know, don't do that. Okay. Ask questions. I'm happy to answer anything. Just give me enough time to reply. So honestly, I don't really care how big or small your question is. I don't really care if you ask the same question like 2 or 3 times in a row. I will give you the answer that you need because I am here to help you and I want you to get the maximum amount of points. My only thing is that you give me enough time to reply because I'm not going to be on my phone all the time. Also, there's a chance that you might have a follow-up question to my response. So give us enough time so that we can go back and forth and you can get all the stuff that you need. Okay. 3rd, keep up with the Remind. Join my Remind by texting TO editors to 81010. I post a lot of important announcements. I post reminders about submissions on the 1st of every month and whenever the submission, like the day of the submissions are due. I post when my monthly prompts are posted. I post about new announcements that I post on the website. I post when I publish my TextOKey. So it is a really great resource to get information from me. Also, it's a really easy way to contact me. You can just like directly message me on Remind and I'll answer you. And I can see that really easily. Always submit. A few points are always better than none. So there are only 2 assignments where you can submit late, and that's the article, and then that is your newsletter. So for your photos, Hodo, letter to the editor, Riddle of the month, like let's say it's like 11:58 and you don't have like exactly everything you need for each assignment, just submit them anyways, because it's always better to have a couple points and then work on your articles and newsletters later, because at least you have 5 days where I still will allow you to submit and get some credit for it. Okay, this piece of advice is directly related to photos. So take quality candidates. Clear action shots will give you a better chance to be featured. So if you are looking to gain those extra points by getting featured in the Texo Key, this is how you do it. So if you have like a really quality camera on your phone, or you just have like a digital camera that's really good, I suggest you using those. Portrait mode, I always like portrait modes. Those are really nice. And make sure that you are capturing your members like in action, like doing some kind of work. I personally don't pick the photos where it's just a group of people standing and smiling at the camera, because it really doesn't showcase Key Clubbers doing Key Club related things. I really do prefer action shots. The sixth piece of advice, submit when you can. You do not have to submit everything at once. So basically, once you're done with something, if you're done with your letter to the editor and rule of the month, just submit them so that you don't have to worry about them. You don't have to submit everything in a row. I'll check my email and I'll separate the emails into their specific assignments. Like, you don't have to do that. I think it's easier this way so that you're not stressed out. You're just having like these assignments like sitting in your drafts, waiting for them to be like sent out. Just do them immediately. Just make sure that you keep track of what you've submitted already. Use the rubrics. Refer to the rubric before you start so you don't do it incorrectly. The rubrics literally outline your entire assignment. Again, work smarter, not harder. Read it before so you know how to format something, or you know what content you need for that assignment. Like, don't do your entire photo thing, download as a Word document, and then go check the rubric and realize that you didn't do the formatting correctly and then you have to do it all over again. Like, don't do that to yourself. Just refer to the rubric beforehand. They're on the website and you can access them whenever you want. And lastly, ask for feedback. I will be happy to tell you what you missed on any assignments. So when I like grade your assignments and I return them back to you on the same email, just reply to that email saying that you want feedback, because I will be more than happy to tell you specifically what you missed. Because when I give it back, I will only tell you what you missed in like a category. For example, your newsletter, it'll say like content : 3 out of 4, but it won't tell you specifically what in content that you missed. Like, you'd have to ask me for that, and then I would tell you. So do that so that you can earn the most amount of points for your next assignments. Okay, so 3 tips to get the visual appeal bonus point. So tip number 1, use transparent images. Search up PNG files for images or logos to create a more cohesive and transparent, or cohesive and professional look. What you can also do is look up, like, for logos, especially for like major emphasis promotion or the thirst project kind of stuff, look up the name of the organization and then like transparent image or PNG. Secondly, find your aesthetic. Try to create a cohesive look for your newsletter. Stick to a few fonts and colors. Pick elements of the same style. What I mean by elements of the same style is, like, if you use graphic elements that have like a thin, like, black outline, I recommend that all of the elements that you use have that same style of a thin black outline, stuff like that. And lastly, make it fun and eye-catching. Have fun with your newsletter. Use fun fonts for titles. Incorporate shapes and images. Give your pages some character. You know, make it fun to look at. Make it interesting. Make it exciting. You know, don't be drab. Use some, like, interesting graphics. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through these because there's not a lot of time. So here's some editor contests and awards that you can apply for. Apply and get recognized for your dedication and exemplary work. By the way, this is just a brief overview. I'm not gonna go over like the specific details. If you do want a further in-depth overview of the editor contest and awards, I have a joint training with Alina Dam, the technology producer, on Saturday, October 17th at 3 p.m. Central Time. So if you are interested in applying for these awards and you really want to learn about them, I suggest you go to them. Right here, I'm just gonna like show y'all what they are and what you can apply for. I'm not gonna go into like much detail. So first, we have the Linda and Gary Hicks Outstanding Club Editor Award. So this competition recognizes the district's most outstanding editor. They depict responsibility, organization, dedication, thoroughness, and prestige. So all you have to do is there's going to be an online job form application on the website, on the district website, and you have to fill that out no more than 2 weeks prior to the next district convention. The rules is that you can only like enter one person. So I know that some clubs have like a team of editors. You can only enter one person for this. And you have to have a club president or faculty or Kiwanis advisor nominate the editor. Okay. And so here's the criteria in judging. So you have outstanding newsletter, correspondence, meeting attendance, club service hours, explanation, and references. So for outstanding newsletter, you just upload your highest scoring newsletter that you have submitted to me during the term. Correspondence, that's basically like communication, and you kind of submit evidence that you've communicated with certain people, whether it be your club officers, whether it be your lieutenant governor, the district staff, your regional advisor, district administrator. Like there will be a section where you can upload like screenshots and evidence that you've been in communication with these certain amount of people. Meeting attendance, so basically you type in how many meetings that your club has had overall in terms of general and board meetings, and then you type in how many meetings that you've attended, and it's like kind of a percentage. So if you attended like 90 to 100% of your meetings, you get like 20 points. If you submitted like less, you get less points. Club service hours, to get the maximum points, you have to have had 50 service hours for the entire term. Your explanation is basically like your way of, you know, sharing your input. You can put in reasons why maybe you couldn't attend meetings, why you fell short in these certain categories, and explain yourself. You can also put other things where you've gone above and beyond your duties as an editor, you know, and really like highlight those. And then references, you can submit a maximum of 2 references. That will give you the max amount of points. You can ask like an advisor to do that for you. You just need 2 references. Okay. So now the Text OKey Reporting Award. So this award is really easy because you don't have to apply for this. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tally all of the feature points that your club has had over the entire term, and whoever has the most points for features wins. That's it. It's not that hard. And so featured articles, 5 points, featured photos, 1 point. And so if you want this award, like really start trying to make quality submissions. And now we have the Club Newsletter Award. And so this competition is intended to reward the club which presents the most informative, creative, original newsletters to its members throughout the year. So entry requirements. So each newsletter submitted for this award must be a newsletter that you have sent to me during this term. You're gonna have a Google folder containing all the newsletters that you have sent into me titled Club Editor, Name, School Name, Division, and you share it with me no later than 2 weeks prior to LEDCon this year. And you must register for this contest through the convention registration process. The rules, so you have to only submit newsletters that you have actually submitted to me during this term, and the newsletters must be created by a Key Club member or Key Club members. So what I will do for scoring is I'll basically take the average amount of points for the monthly newsletter during your term. So what I'll do probably is I will look at when you started submitting newsletters, because obviously some editors got appointed or elected later than others. So I will look at the first month that you've submitted a newsletter. I will count those months, add up all the points of all your newsletters, and then divide it by the number of months in which you started submitting newsletters. And there will be a first, second, and third place for that. Okay. So if you want more information, check out our official district website, www.tokeyclub.com. Go to resources, district bylaws and codes, the TO district code of contests and awards. Just a warning, every single contest and award is in this PDF file, and it's a lot. So just Control F the title of the award, and so you can quickly search for it. So yeah, but also go to my training on the 17th, which is next week. So please go to that. Okay, thank you for joining our training. Please join my remind by texting TO editors to 81010. And does anyone have any questions? Okay. Can someone read the chat? What time is it? It is 10. I am so sorry, y'all. Oh my God. Hold up. Can someone read it?
I was on mute. I'm sorry. They're just all saying thanks.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so here's our contact information again if you need it. Y'all are free to go. This was kind of chaotic, but thank you for bearing through this with me. Thank you for being patient. So y'all are free to go to your next forum now, if you'll have one. Okay, thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay.
It's going to be recorded and posted onto the Texas Oklahoma YouTube page.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.